Like so many things, it's not what's on the outside, but what's on the inside that counts. This is my favorite quote from the movie Aladdin. How many of you here have seen the animated film Aladdin? Oh, lovely. All right, so can I ask you again, how many of you here have seen the movie Aladdin? Fantastic, because this was my favorite fairy tale growing up. You know, when I was young, I was too excited about life to go to sleep. So every night, I would slowly creep into my grandparents' room, crawl into their beds, wake them up in the middle of the night, and ask them to tell me bedtime stories. My grandmom, half asleep, would paint beautiful pictures with her words. And this is where she first introduced me to Aladdin and his genie. Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Malik. I'm a biohacker, a growth mindset coach, and a hybrid athlete. But none of that matters, because I'm here today to talk about genies. Yes, exactly the kind of genie that Aladdin had. You know, where he rubbed the lamp and poof, the genie came out to grant him 3 wishes. But the genie that I want to talk about is my personal genie that my grandmother introduced me to when I was 10 years old. Yes, it's a personal genie, and no, it's not my smartphone. Now, there are 2 differences between my personal genie and that of Aladdin's. The first, trust me, you guys are going to love this one. My genie has no limits to the number of wishes it can grant me. The second, my genie's wishes are limited to me. I know, this one's kind of a bummer, right? I bet when I first spoke about having a personal genie, some of you thought, maybe Tanya has the key to changing my annoying neighbor. But turns out Gandhi was right all along. To change the world, we have to change ourselves. All right, so let's get back to my personal genie. Now, as I grew up, I started to learn more about my genie, little by little, and I realized that my genie is made up of 3 things. The first began here, with my mind. Now, science shows us that our brains never stop growing. No, that does not mean that our heads are going to keep getting bigger. It means that our ability to learn a new skill, a new language, art, literally anything at any age is not just biologically possible. Our brains are like a sponge, constantly absorbing all of the information from all around us. And this is where the paradox of technological liberation begins. My genie made me realize that the world that we live in, we sort of have a constant inflow of information available at our fingertips. Maybe even faster, right? I mean, if you and I talk about ice creams right now, by the time you step out of this hall, all of the applications on your phone are going to push ads about ice cream to you, making sure you end up buying one. Trust me, my mouth's watering. I'm definitely going to end up buying an ice cream when I walk out. And there was exactly one such night. I was happily about to order an ice cream because of a notification I had seen when my genie came in and stopped me. Made me realize that this constant inflow of information, both voluntary and involuntary, was not just influencing my behavior, it was shaping who I am. Hey, don't get me wrong. Our technological liberation is not all bad. It can be, in fact it is, extremely powerful. Making new education, skills, powerful automation available to us, opening up possibilities of creation and growth, but there is always a but, right? I had to build the right mindset for it. And my very gracious personal genie decided to reveal the secret sauce of the I am statement. It made me realize every time I said I am, and trust me, I said I am a lot, I was actually building my identity. Say I am lazy, and voila, My words were compelled to come true. All right, I know what some of you are thinking. Hey, this is fantastic. If you had it so easy, Tanya, all you needed to do was just sit back, relax, and say, I am Einstein, I am Einstein, I am Einstein. I'm sorry you guys can't see this, but your words would come true. Unfortunately, that's not how my personal genie works. Science shows us that the contrary is actually true. When we attach too much value and our identity to intelligence, it actually hampers growth. When I believed I am intelligent, that became my identity. And then when I failed a test, that threatened my very identity. And I lacked the resilience to overcome that failure. You know, research shows us that students who attach value to intelligence lie about failing tests a lot more. And suddenly it made sense to me. Every time I failed a test, I could just not go back home because I couldn't face my parents. And trust me, I failed my share of tests. So what did I do? I built a growth mindset by attaching my value to hard work, to the ability to do, the ability to learn, the ability to achieve. And today, I believe I am hardworking. I am persistent. I am resilient. Today, if I fail a test, or if I face rejection, it actually kicks in my identity and I work even harder to overcome that failure. And don't we all know that failure is the only way to success? Well, I hope we all know that. Great, somebody said yes. Right, so now to unlock this aspect of my genie, I had to take control of the constant inflow of information that surrounded me in this digital world. I was very happy. I was pleased with myself. I was pleased with this new growth mindset that I had built, but my genie was not happy. My genie realized that I was using my genetics as an excuse for who I am. So my genie decided to reveal its second aspect. It's called epigenomics, the study of how our genes express themselves. It made me realize it does not matter what I have inherited from my parents genetically. I had more control on my physical health and longevity than I ever realized. What does that mean? That meant I could change my lifestyle, my sleep, my exercise, the people I surround myself with, the content I consumed, the purpose that drove me. Irrespective of my age, those changes would actually change my biological self, and so I did. Our cells turn over at an unbelievable rate. They regenerate so we can redefine who we are at every step, at every age. Think about this. You lose 9 pounds of skin cells every year. That means this day, next year, you will literally be a new you. You can choose today who you want to be tomorrow, and your personal genies will make it come true. But hey, we're still talking about my personal genie, right? So let me reveal its third aspect, which is also, by the way, my favorite aspect. It's called neuroplasticity. By now you know that our brains are constantly changing. When we repeat something, it builds what we call a neural pathway. The more we use a neural pathway, the stronger it becomes. When we stop using a neural pathway or we stop doing a habit, that neural pathway diminishes and dies. You know, I just realized something. This is the reason why my husband never switches off the light when he leaves the room, because that neural pathway died a long time ago. I wonder how many of you have this neural pathway? Can you do me a favor? Next time you walk out of a room, think about this. Think if you have this neural pathway. All right, let's come back to my personal genie and talk about the two aspects of my autonomous nervous system that my genie asked me to focus on. One is the fight or flight mode. The second is the calm mode. Now, living in this beautiful digital world that we live in, I was constantly responding to notifications, to the point where I had to leave my smartwatch on the seat when I walked up on the stage because I knew I'm going to end up responding to that notification. I was living by to-do lists. I was chugging coffee, chasing deadlines. My fight or flight mode had become my go-to neural pathway. Now this had created a situation of chronic stress. All of us know what chronic stress does to the body, right? What I did not know is that this chronic stress had locked down my personal genie, had put it in shackles. I suddenly realized that I needed to take a step back. I needed to activate my calm mode. I needed to free my genie. That was the only way to have my personal genie by my side. And that is exactly what I'm here to tell each of you. Each one of you has a personal genie. Exactly the kind of genie that my grandmom introduced me to when I was 10 years old. You can unlock, unleash, and meet your personal genie by just taking charge of your physical selves in this digital world. So here are 5 biohacks. Beginner's biohacks that you can use to unlock your personal genie and unleash your magic. First, prioritize nighttime sleep. Not just sleep, nighttime sleep. Second, get morning sunlight, at least 15 minutes of it. Third, start moving, start lifting. Fourth, practice breathing exercises, preferably at least twice a day. Fifth, heal your gut. Our gut is literally the center of our physical being. When you have your personal genie by your side, you will recognize that like everything else, technology can be whatever and everything that you want it to be. Remember, it's not what's on the outside, but what's on the inside that counts. Thank you.